doing? How are we doing? Happy Friday. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Show. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day. You've had a great week, hopefully. Um, and yeah, I'm happy to be back myself. Hey, Coco, how are you, girl? Hey, girl. Hey, girl, hey. Um, I'm really excited for the weekend because it's been like a long week, y'all. It has really been a long week. Um, and I think I'm gonna have a 3 day weekend, which I'm looking forward to. Apparently, there's snow happening and weather is happening allegedly. So I might get a day off on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's zoom this in a bit. Yeah, let's zoom in. Um, so welcome. I've got a few updates, a few announcements before we get into the main story of the night. 'Cause I have things to say. I have things to say. I do. Um, hey DJ, hey Bucci Mane. I left the debate for you. I've missed you too, Leah. Hey David Portillo Davila. So first off, let's get the announcements out the way. First announcement: I've officially begun tretinoin. We talked about this in the Looks Maxine live stream, the beautification stream, the pretty people stream. We talked about this. I've officially started. I'm only doing tretinoin applications once a week until the next month. I'll increase my weekly application every month. So in February, I'll start doing 2 applications a week, all the way until I get to month 7 when I'm applying it every single night. Hopefully, with this strategy, I will be able to accomplish getting my skin acclimated to tretinoin. Other announcement, by the way, I have also begun minoxidil applications to my eyebrows. I want thicker eyebrows. My eyebrows are anorexic. They're hungry, but they're not eating. They're thin. They're thin-ish. I mean, they're not like the worst eyebrows ever, but I've always wanted larger, thicker, fuller, more hungry, like fulfilling eyebrows. And I'm not into makeup. Never been a makeup girly, never gonna be a makeup girly. That's too much fucking work. Honestly, having to, put my clown makeup on every day, it's just too much. I refuse to do it. I'd rather just change my body over the long term than to have such a high level of maintenance every single day. I can't do that. I believe in pretty privilege and trying to beautify yourself and look better, but I'm not doing all that. That's where I draw the line. So I'm applying some minoxidil every day, twice a day. Really easy, really quick. It takes all of like a minute, maybe. Um, so we'll see how that goes over the year. Those are the two big announcements. And if you want any advice on how that's going, stay tuned to the Discord channel. I'll be talking about it in Discord quite frequently. I'll be giving updates there. So there's that. Um, hey, Night Ghoul. Let's read some more comments before we get into the next question. Cho, why do you have a medieval knife as a mic? Oh, you haven't been here for a while, Coco. Every day we try to use a different inanimate object as a microphone stand. Don't you love it? I love it so much. So tonight I decided to use my sword. I used this mystical sword to open up all of my packages, particularly packages that I want, like products. that I want to work. So it's like a good look. It's like a good look charm, right? Um, I need money, DJ. I'm running low. Plus, my week has been so up and down. Well, did you start your new job, DPD? We'll get it. We're gonna get into this conversation, Leah, in a second. I'm gonna get into the. I'm gonna spill the tea on this whole illegal alien that was detained and the whole situation with them alleging that a little boy, 5-year-old boy, was kidnapped. Oh my God. We'll get there. Hey, Bishop Bond. I would love a French medieval knife. Just send me an email and I'll give you my address. Send me a DM somewhere. I'll give you my address. I would love a French medieval sword. I would love that. I love the scrubby, Leah. And it works for the body. So I only scrub my body once or twice a week. I take a couple long showers. So okay, I do long showers, and it's different than a regular shower. A long shower is, as the name might suggest, a long shower, and that involves scrubbing. I don't actually mind the small. I mean, it's not convenient. It's not. I'll be honest. It's not the most convenient for your body, adi adi. However, because it's a long shower, I'm already luxuriating in the shower time. It's not that big of a deal. So I appreciate the scrubbies. It's been nice. Your paperwork has been issued, David. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's fucking a nightmare, especially when you're ready for a job and you're ready to make money, and now it's being held up. I understand. Okay, so before we get into the main subject for tonight, I want to start a new tradition. New tradition, and it's going to involve me having to use a different mic stand. So, from now on, we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to start reading passages from one of my favorite books called The Daily Stoic. These are one page of wisdom that I think everyone needs to hear, right? Here's the book right here. It's by Ryan Holiday. It says The Daily Stoic 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living. This is a book that I read all the time, actually. I read this book all the time. And you guys may know this or you may not know this, but I am a strong believer in Stoicism. At least I try to practice Stoicism. I don't always verbalize it, but I try to live it instead because there's nothing worse than a person who's like, I'm a Stoic, who's like makes that their entire personality. So I just thought that it would be really interesting to just read the passage with you guys every stream. Um, so we're gonna do that, and this is um very simple. The pages are not long. They're not long. They usually start off with a quote from a Stoic philosopher, and then they go into the lesson. They dive deeper into the lesson by giving examples. So we are going to read. Today's January 23rd. We're gonna do January 23rd. I'll read some comments before I get into the passage. It's a really short one though. It's short. It's not long. Um, we can get into discussion if you want or not. But I just feel like studying this stuff is really important to me, and it's important to how I've been able to build up my confidence, my motivation, and I feel like that's worth sharing. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. But we'll read some comments before we get into all of that. Um, Girl, I just made myself a bubble bath after so long. I felt how good these felt. Oh yeah. The blonde is a dirty girl most of the week because my scalp cannot have constant scrubs in the winter. That makes sense. I fucked up my arm worse than I originally thought. Everyone would learn how sketchy it is to walk on ice this week. Oh no. Because nobody else is gonna shovel the snow. Oof. Good luck to your family. Your skin is glowing. Thank you, Deem Hawk. Thank you. I have a pretty big acne outbreak right now. All yaps are on. I have a pretty big acne outbreak right now. I think perhaps it's because I'm starting tretinoin, and so I did a very extra glowy routine tonight to kind of combat that. But thank you, Deem. I appreciate you. Thank you for the jewels, Leah. All the states will learn. Isn't everyone? I don't know who's getting what. I don't watch the news. As you know, DJ, I can barely find my weather app. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the weather, nor do I really care. That's Leah's jurisdiction. My weather czar, Leah Bobia. That's her jurisdiction. Anyway, we're going to get into the first official reading um, from The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. This is in the first section about clarity. January 23rd, the truth about money. In quotes by Seneca on Consolation to Helvia. Let's pass over to the oh, not me not knowing how to read like the Gen Z kids. Let's pass over to the really rich. How often the occasions they look just like the poor. When they travel abroad, they must restrict their baggage, and when haste is necessary, they dismiss their entourage. And those who are in the army, how few of their possessions they get to keep. So that's a quote by Seneca on Consolation to Helvia. So the authors go on. They say the author F. Scott Fitzgerald, who often glamorized the lifestyles of the rich and famous in books like The Great Gatsby, opens one of his short stories with the now classic lines, "Let me tell you about the very rich. They are different from you and me." A few years after this story was published, his friend Ernest Hemingway teased Fitzgerald by writing, "Yes, they have more money." That's what Seneca is reminding us of. As someone who was one of the richest men in Rome, he knew firsthand that money only marginally changes life. It doesn't solve the problems that people without it seem to think it will. In fact, no material possession will. External things can't fix internal issues. We constantly forget this, and it causes us so much confusion and pain. As Hemingway would later write of Fitzgerald, he thought the rich were a special, glamorous race, and when he found out they weren't it, it wrecked him as much as any other thing that wrecked him. Without a change, the same will be true for us. That's January 23rd. The truth about money. Listen, honey. Points are being made. Points are being made. I always say, and I don't think my quote, my specific quote about money, I don't think it's antithetical to what I just read to you guys. I always say that having money isn't everything, but not having money is. I think that you have to be able to have enough money to provide for yourself and to provide security and safety and prosperity for the body, mind, and soul. You do need money to achieve those things. However, having a lot of money is not everything, right? As the passage suggests, having a bunch of money does not solve your internal issues, right? And that truly is the truth about money. People think that money's going to solve all of their woes and all of their pains, and usually money just simply amplifies a lot of those pains. Um, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that passage. And like I said, from now on, I'll be beginning every stream reading a passage from the Daily Stoic. And hopefully you guys will get some value from it because for the last several years, I've gotten massive value from reading this book every day. So hopefully you guys will too. Okay. Anyway, let's get toxic now. Let's talk about tonight's topic. Um, I'll read some comments first, and then we'll get into my thoughts. Um, Men should be more stoic. I agree. I agree. I agree. My name is Chavez. The winter storm is the least of my ice-based concerns. I know that's right. Um, Cho, you're a Gen Z. Well, can you read, Coco? Because a lot of you Gen Zers cannot read. Uh, uh, that's what the reports are saying. That's what the reports are saying. A lot of you cunts can't read. A lot of y'all need to be hooked on phonics. And that's the problem. A lot of y'all are not hooked on phonics. Get rehooked. Who unhooked you guys? Hey MOP. Yes, the dad had a remove order and ran like a little bitch. He left the kid. Fuck you for lying like a bitch. What are you talking about, Horace Dark? What did what did I lie about? Money buys options. Yes. I'm legal. It doesn't seem to matter. They're snatching citizens out of their homes just because of their names. Yeah, you get released, but I imagine no one here wants to go through all that. It's crazy, man. We're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it. Also, crying in your luxury car, whipping on the heated leather steering wheel, and massaging seats is slightly better than crying on your rusty, dusty mountain bike. Money doesn't solve all your problems, but it does help a lot. Yeah, you shouldn't need money to achieve those things, but you do. Change that book to State and Revolution. I don't think so. Um, a lot of American Gen Z can't read. I'm Gen Z and I can't read well. The reports are reporting, honey. I didn't print the reports. I just read them. A lot of Gen Z can't read. Wave check, Travis. You don't want to see. It's because they rely on ChatGPT and all these AI tools to feed them slop, and they eat it up with both hands. It even speaks to them. They don't even have to read. Hey, Pittman. Hey, Ripped. Okay, let's get into tonight's story. So, apparently, people are accusing ICE of kidnapping 5-year-olds. Wild. I'm sure you've all seen the image spreading and circulating around social media like wildfire. It's a very alarming image, no, right? It pulls at the heartstrings. Pulls at the heartstrings. Pulls at the heartstrings, right? Yeah, but like most Democratic liberal agendas, the devil's in the details. The devil's in the details. And of course, um, they'd rather you just listen to your heart and listen to you get emotionally upset, fired up, mad. But like so many things, this is just not true, right? This is just not true. Um, and what's happening right now is something that's happened with Trump. And I think that Democrats ought to be careful because ICE is unpopular for some legitimate reasons. They're unpopular for some legitimate reasons. ICE has been skirting constitutional laws, right? They have been very aggressive. they have done some questionable things. People that are actual citizens of this nation have been caught up in the crossfire. Those are all true things, and those are all deplorable things, right? However, you can call out all of those things that ICE is doing that are bad without lying. The reason I say it's similar to Trump is because you guys know I hate Trump. I've always hated Trump. I have hated Trump since I knew who Trump was. That's a lie. Let me not lie. Because I did watch The Apprentice and I loved Trump on The Apprentice. I did. I did. But when he became a politician, I hated that motherfucker since day one. And that has continued. I have never not hated Trump. Okay? Even when I voted for the dumb bastard, I hated Trump. Hated him, like I hate most politicians. But like Trump, there are a million and one reasons, legitimate reasons to hate Trump. But when you lie about him, when you trump up lies about him, pun intended, it makes him seem more sympathetic than what he should be. This applies to ICE. It applies to ICE right now. There is reasons to believe that the Trump administration is using privatized detention centers to wash money as a laundromat to funnel capital into the hands of his friends and dick riders. So there's a lot of listen, there's a lot of problematic shit, okay, when it comes to ICE. I'm no ICE defender, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to support ICE and when they do the right thing, and we're going to criticize them when they do the wrong thing. And what we're not going to do is lie about the wrong things. They did not detain a 5-year-old, okay? Let me set the scene for you. Let me set the scene for you, okay? ICE, when they're doing justice, are actually seeking out illegals, okay? They have arrested murderers, they've arrested drug dealers, they've arrested rapists. They've gotten some really bad people out of this country as they should, as you should want them to. They found this illegal, and when he got out of his vehicle and they stopped him, he ran. Now, before I even read y'all dumbass comments, I want to ask you a question. When you see police and you're innocent, do you run? Let me give y'all the mic. Do you run? You haven't did shit, right? Do you run? Okay. All right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But the story gets better. The story gets better. He runs, but he left the 5-year-old child in his vehicle. What? Now, I don't think I honestly, that's all I needed to hear. Full stop. Stop the story. You can stop the story at this point in time. I'm on the side of ICE. I'm already on their side because What type of father leaves their son in a car unattended around ice? Let's just pretend. Okay. This, okay. Let me just breathe, Charles. Just breathe. Let's just pretend that I'm a psychopathic, far left, liberal, Looney Tune goon. BLM, Antifa, all the fascism you want. Let's just pretend I'm one of those. And I believe that ICE is dangerous and they killing people out in the streets. And they're evil. They're criminals. They're thugs. They're masked thugs, right? The first thing I would not do is leave my child in their care. I wouldn't leave my child in the car alone around ICE. Wouldn't do that. If I'm a liberal who hates ICE, who thinks they're the pit bulls of fascism and King Trump, wouldn't leave my child around ICE. So we can stop the story right there. I'm already on their side because I already know for a fact that the father's a piece of shit. That's been confirmed now. That's confirmed. That's not even up. That's not even up for debate so far in the story. That's been confirmed. Fact number one. The father's a piece of shit. Okay? So, half of the ICE officers go after the dumb fuck low life father, right? And then the other ICE officers who actually have a heart is like, wait a minute, there's a child in the vehicle. We can't leave this child unattended in the fucking cold while we chase down his illegal father, right? So they stay. Now, here's where things get a little gray. Because you guys know I love nuance, right? There are reports. I don't side with these reports, but you gotta, let's be honest. There are reports that the ICE officers then begun to use that child as bait to get the illegal mother out of the house. Now, I think this is all up to interpretation. There's a lot of interpretation that can be made here. People are screaming, how could you? Why would you? Why did you? You know, all this shit. But if I'm the ICE officer, I have to now make sure that this child is in the safe care of somebody. Now, there's one or two options that's happening. Either they're trying to use the child to get the illegal mother out of the house to detain her ass too, or they just want to like leave the child there and say, "Hey, have at it. We're gonna go take the hubby out." Now, allegedly, people are screaming, "I'll take the child." Always some fucking school teacher. Some school teacher, "I'll take the child. There are adults that can take care of the child." They're knocking on the door. The mom's not answering the door. The father's already come back. He's screaming, "Don't answer the door. Don't answer the door. Don't answer the door." The child's knocking on the door, trying to get somebody to open up the door, right? Again, I think it's totally fair. Both interpretations are fair. That they were using the child as bait or that they were just trying to return the child to the mother. Because there are also reports that ICE actually communicated to the mom that they were not going to detain her, that they just wanted to return the child and that they would just give the child, they would just detain the father. Um, Thank you for the super chat. Cho, tell this idiot in chat how racist I am. She's the biggest racist ever, honey. That's my bestie. I'm only best friends with racist, apparently. Um, Leah, I don't know. Listen, being called a racist in 2026 is old, trite, boring, overused, ugly. Anyway, we're we're all racist and transphobes and anti-Semites, whatever. Sure, I'm not even fighting the allegations anymore. Sure, I'm all those things. What the fuck ever. What's next? So anyway, thank you for the super chat, Leah. I appreciate you so much. Love you so much. Um, where was I? So yeah, the father screaming, "Don't open up the door! Don't open up the door! Don't open up the door!" And the mother doesn't open up the door, even though ICE is telling her that they're not going to detain her. They just want to return the trial, but they're taking the daddy. They're taking daddy, right? So now at this point, the child has nowhere to go. And what I want to make very clear to you guys, because I know all you white, sorry, because listen, I don't mean to be racist, but this is a white issue. This is a white issue. All these white liberals are fucking shit up. White women, white female. Listen, I'm gonna be. Let me throw some misogyny in there too. White female liberals are fucking shit up because you have people talking about there are adults here. I'll take him. There are teachers here. I'll take him. They don't have to go with you. Da 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 da. Listen, motherfucker. Let me remind you, liberals, of some history, because I think you guys either have poor memory, poor recall, or just convenient amnesia. I want you guys to know that between 80,000 and 300,000 migrant children went missing during the Biden administration. Missing. And when I say missing, that's a very kind word because what that really means is that they were trafficked. They were trafficked. Okay? Why did that happen? You might be wondering. Because ICE, because you guys think that ICE just fucking existed, just came up with Trump. No, bitch. ICE has been doing this shit for decades, specifically under Biden and Obama. Okay? The whole migrating children in cages started with Obama. But I don't want to go too far back in history. We're talking about Biden. All those children went missing under the Biden administration precisely because of what these white female liberals are asking ICE to do. Give me the child. I'm sorry to say this, but it's the truth. But school administrators can be pedophiles and predators as well. Okay? And when they started doing that type of policy under the Biden administration and they started noticing that all these fucking children came up fucking missing, they had to change the policy. And so now it's actually illegal for Trump's ICE, department to give children away to non-parents. They can't do it because you cunts kept talking about separating families, separating families, separating families. So they're not separating families. The father said, bring the child with me. So that's what happened. That's what fucking happened. The father said, bring the child with me. So the child had to go with him. That's his fucking father. So the whole narrative completely false. The idea that ICE went out of their way to detain and kidnap a 5-year-old is completely false. It's just completely false. And again, it makes you look horrible to propagate lies. It makes you look dishonest. It makes you look biased. I can sit here and listen to you trash ICE all day long. There's a lot of shit they've done wrong. Let's talk about it. But to say that they kidnapped a 5-year-old and detained a 5-year-old is a complete fabrication of the truth. And you're either intentionally manipulative or you're as dumb as a bag of bricks. And I don't know which is worse. I don't know which is worse. Which is worse? Which is worse? Now, also, before I read comments, I want to get to comments. I want to talk about some of the aftermath because there's been some aftermath. I want to touch on the aftermath because everyone's now screaming,
But he's a legal citizen. He's seeking asylum. He's seeking asylum. An asylum seeker.
That's the narrative now. No, he's not. Not legitimate. He's not legitimate. Another lie. Another what's the word? Contusion? What's a contusion? Google the definition of contusion. That's like an injury. What I'm trying to say is it's another twist of the truth. Again, a quick little history segment here. During Biden's last presidency, if we want to call it that, he instituted a new law. This little app where if you cross the border illegally, you could sign in. Get your smartphone out because yeah, all these illegal aliens have smartphones. Who would have thought, right? All these illegals have $1,000 phones like you and I do. Get your little smartphone out, download the app, and then you can just file yourself as an asylum seeker. So when Trump got in office, he said, "Fuck that noise. That's what? What? That is so like legally illegitimate." He said, "Fuck that noise. We not abiding by that shit." What do you mean? You can't just cross the border illegally and then say, "Oh, by the way, I'm an asylum seeker." And you know what? I want to tell you how generous and benevolent Trump was. I'm gonna tell you because even for those people who claim to be asylum seekers who cross the border illegally, he was going to have your flights paid for to send your ass back. Okay, he was going to pay you a large sum of money to self deport, and because his benevolence knows no bounds, King Trump apparently, since we have kings now, his benevolence knows no bounds. He was even going to allow it so that when you actually apply to legally get into the country, that your initial crime of crossing the border illegally will be wiped from your record. Did you hear that? So Trump was allowing people who self-deported to not only they're being paid to self-deport, but also when you apply to get back to the country, there would be no history of you entering illegally. Basically allowing you to get in line as if any other person got in line to enter the country. I don't know. To me, that seems a bit very fair, more than fair, very benevolent in my opinion. So I just really wanted to get on here and react to this story because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous on all fronts. You guys have been talking about not wanting to separate families and all this shit, but the one time that Trump ICE is like, you know what? Okay, we'll keep the family together. Now it's a problem. See, here's the thing. Here's the problem with a lot of the liberal narratives out there right now. And this is why you can't have any arguments in good faith because they don't intend to argue in good faith. The goalpost is always moving. And no matter what you do or how you do, or even when you succumb to their side of things, you're always going to be wrong. Because the goal is not to be right on principle, the goal is to be right politically. I'll say it again. Their goal is not to be right on principle, their goal is to be right politically. And as you guys know, in terms of politics, your principles blow with the wind. Three sheets to the wind, in fact. So when we were separating families, you were wrong. Now that we're not separating families, you're wrong. What? So I don't know. Um, that is my take on the 5-year-old kidnapping. It's a hoax. Like many, the Renee Good, outrage is a hoax. We talked about that already. Um, and you know what, y'all? I don't want this to be derailed, but I have so much anger brewing on Pam Bondi and Trump and how they are protecting pedophiles with this Epstein file shit. The stuff I have been reading, this administration is so demonic, y'all. It's like they are legit demons. They are demons. It's crazy. But I don't want to even go there. I don't even want to go there. Let's stay on topic with ICE and the whole kidnapping. What do you guys think about this story? Am I onto something? Am I crazy? Am I crazy for thinking the way I think about this whole I looked at the facts and I don't think they kidnapped a 5-year old. I don't think they intentionally detained a 5-year old. I do think it's up, you know, in terms of the mother. Listen, I do want to say, I do think it's up for interpretation on whether you believe they were using the kid as bait to get the mom or not. I don't know. You know, if the ICE agent is like saying, "Oh, we're not gonna detain you. We just want to return your child," but then you open the door and then you're put in handcuffs, then what? I wouldn't trust the government either, to be quite frank with you. But at the end of the day, I think that the existence of a child changes everything. I don't want my child. I don't know. I don't have kids, but I cannot see myself allowing my child to go with them without me. Listen, you going to have to shoot me. My a 5 year, you're going to have to shoot me. And this is bad parenting all the way around. The mom's a piece of shit mom. The dad's a piece of shit dad. I feel so bad for this child. I feel horrible for this child. So here we go. Thank you, Leah Bobia, for remaining a member for the last 14 months. The queen of this community, Leah Bobia, thank you so much. 14 months of racist best friends forever. Also, don't even try and catch up. We went off in these comments. You know I caught a straggler. Where is he? Where is he? He left already? You fuck. Well, I'll start reading comments now. I'll start reading comments now. I'm just purely talking economically here, and I understand your ethical position. However, I was making a point that cheap labor doesn't always probably correlate with higher living costs. I don't know what you're talking about, Coco, but cheap labor doesn't help anybody but corporations. They don't help you. Well, unless your family owns a bunch of fucking corporations that are, using slave labor. I don't know. Maybe it does help you, but it doesn't help me. It doesn't help workers on any level, and it's unethical. So cheap slave labor is a net negative for society. It just is. Both sides are generally fucked, but the liberals on each side are what's destroying us all and deciding us. Not the worst. Kamala would have been actual hell. Well, Coco, even if I concede that point, not agree to concede for now, is the economy all we care about? The pro reports say we should keep abortion legal to control the population, even though we're below replacement rates, which is more of the same. What the fuck reason of the left? We were discussing the illegals and their labor versus employing Americans at a fair wage. So, yeah, it's so it's unethical. Number one, I don't think that anyone agrees with slavery. Um, I think slavery is bad. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. I don't think being against slave labor is controversial. But apparently, if you're a Democrat, that's a very controversial thing to say. You can't be against slave labor. Um, so first off, ethically, I'm against slave labor. But in terms of the economics, we all lose. We all lose. Americans lose. American workforce in terms of blue collar workers, they lose big. Minorities lose because minorities are the ones taking on a lot of these blue collar jobs. The uneducated, they lose. If you don't have a higher degree, higher education degree, they lose. The blue collar industry, and when people can't get jobs, then what happens? It's a domino effect, right? Also, the people that are working for pennies, they lose. They lose because then they're ended up just scraping by. They're being exploited. They're trying to send what little money they have back home. These because listen, a lot of the illegals are hard working. Some of them are working extremely hard. I get that 100%. And a lot of them, you see this. A lot of the immigrants send money back home, right? And so if they're already being given slave wages, then they don't have much to work with, right? They're already on government assistance. Anyway. It's just there is no economic rationale to slave labor. None. There's none. It's a subversion of the free market. It's a subversion of true capitalism. It is. And it's ridiculous. And I will also say, I like to always throw in this little anecdote. Um, but I know of someone who was an illegal alien and she was sexually harassed by her manager. I work in the restaurant industry, so I know industry T. And she was harassed by her manager sexually. And he threatened to call ICE on her if she told. How fucked up is that? How fucked up is that? That we have. And so, even though I'm America first, believe it or not, I have a heart for these illegals. And I don't want women to be in these positions where they are sexually exploited, where they are financially exploited because some fucking owner of a business or some fucking loser manager has some leverage over them. That's disgusting to me. This is what you support when you push policies like that to allow illegals into the country under the table when they have to get paid under the table. This is what you support. And I thought that the Democrats were supposed to be the party of workers, the worker party. This is not very nice to workers. Hey Antonio. Summary of chat so far is that we are arguing about why cheap labor is bad and legals are used for cheap labor. It's bad all the way around. The ethics are most important. Any good person would rather pay more for gas than have slave labor, human sex trafficking, a regular occurrence, as well as just coercion generally because no shit. Duh, right? Leah, I don't understand why that statement is so hard to understand. And if you disagree with that, then you are objectively a bad person. Like, objectively speaking, if you are okay with your tomatoes, like your cheap tomatoes being cheap because of a 60-year-old man working for pennies on the dollar, if you're okay with that, you are a bad person. You're a bad person. Um, Seth, can I ask a few questions? Of course, Seth. Yeah, I'll get to it. Slave labor makes things worse for the government. I'm not attacking you. Wouldn't have been harassed if she hadn't snuck her ass into the country where she doesn't belong. That part. Ask away, Seth. Sanctuary cities protect rapists, pedos, and murderers that are illegal too. Just did a presentation on 62 of them from 2025. It's not our American duty. Put all those idiots that are on welfare collecting food stamps out in there in the fields to pick the fruit. You stupid moron. You're probably on the food stamps. What are you talking about? What? All those idiots. Wait, all those idiots are. I need you to speak English. Oh my God, they're not teaching English anymore. Collecting food stamps out there in the fields to pick the fruit. You stupid moron. You're probably on the food stamps. Okay. Christian conservatives freed the slaves. This isn't even considered. But what about the illegals who were shipped into the United States for votes? Well, it's a two pronged. It's not that simple. Techno. Democrats have historically wanted them here for the votes, and Republicans want them here for the slave labor. Generally speaking, um, the Republicans ended slavery, fought and died for civil rights. Okay. I'm just saying goods and services can be cheaper. Does it mean I agree with it? No. Christian conservatives freed the slaves. Christians certainly, but conservatives, have you ever heard of any of the things people said to abolitionists at the time? What party started the KKK? I think this is honestly, this is kind of a silly topic. The Republicans of those days are not the Republicans of today. The Democrats of those days are not the Democrats of today. So I don't really think this is I don't think this is really a worthwhile debate. It's kind of a moot point all the way around. I don't know. That's my opinion, but like I don't think it really matters what party started the KKK. Okay, so I mean, so what? Really, Democrats are definitely against the KKK today. Do you know what I mean? I don't. I hear this argument all the time about well, Republicans freed the slaves and all this stuff. Okay, sure, whatever, but like, who gives a fuck? Those were not the same Republicans of today. You think Trump would have freed the slaves? You think the Republicans of today care about freedom? I've got some land to sell you, honey. I've got land to sell you. If you think that Republicans of today's modern day care about freedom in America, because they don't. Let's not go there. Yeah, I don't understand those debates. Who started the KKK? Who freed the slaves? I don't really care about that. I don't know. Um, and I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't get it. Um, uh, they were the blue hair liberals of their day. Only blue hair, don't spam. You're a dumb liberal liar. Jipper, who are you talking to? Are you like off your medication? What is going on? Um, I've been harassed by illegals trying to grab my ass, follow me to my car. Just because it works in other countries doesn't mean it works here. Yep, I agree with that. And that's why there should be an alternative that supports both ways, that's specifically created for the USA. You don't break into people's countries. Go try that shit any other country. Cho, please don't tell me you believe the parties flipped. I don't think they're the same parties. It does. What do you mean flipped? That it's not black and white, Leah. I don't think that. No, they didn't flip, but they changed. Don't tell me you believe that the Republican Party of that time is the same Republican Party of today. They're not. That's what I mean. It's a moot point. I don't think it matters. I don't think that discussion matters at all. Actually, they're not the same parties. Neither party is the same party. And no, they didn't flip, but they're not the same parties of those times, those eras. Um, you can't tell a stupid liberal that they love pedophiles instead of mine. That's your American duty. You have no sense of duty because you're not American. You're a Democrat pedophile. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're like having a spasm. Um, you grew up on where? Who are you talking to? Um, Sean Garrett. That man is delusional. The Irish wasn't even the first wave of immigrants over here. There is no KKK today. There's like 10K total. The height of KKK was in the 20s, 1920s. Maybe put some of the moral outrage against slave labor wages to the 40 plus deaths of people in the ICE custody under the regime. Listen, Ben, let's talk about it. The detention centers are terrible. They're horrible. And again, the ICE detention centers are privatized. This is just Trump washing money. The detention centers are they're washing money. I have some reason to believe that they don't, that they don't really care that much about getting things wrong. I do believe that they're going after illegals that are violent, that are criminal, but because it's become so difficult because of lunatic libs, that they're just taking anybody they can. And regardless of whether they end up staying or not, the detention center makes money. This is all about money. I mean, listen, there's some good. We're getting some rapists out of here. We're getting some drug dealers out of here. Yeah, love it so much. But I watched a documentary recently about three people that were detained by ICE under false premises, and it was really sad. It was very, very, very sad. In fact, listen, honey, and they even had a white woman detained. All the I should have laughed. I should. It's not funny. It's not funny. But listen, they even had white Canadian women detained up in the detention centers for weeks. Tuh. So listen, ICE is beating the allegations that they're racist. No, they locking everybody up. White, they Swedish people. I actually did read some stats about some of the criminals that they've been deporting, and they are really deporting people of all races. I saw people from Spain, people from Sweden, the Netherlands, the UK, some English chaps getting sent back home. Yeah, they're sending everybody home. But when I watched that show, maybe we'll watch it together. But I was like, oh, they got a white woman from Canada up in the detention center. I was really gagged by that. I was like, okay, they're beating the allegations, the racism allegations. I speed them, as far as I'm concerned. um, but yeah, I never said that it should be cheap. Slave labor is a cancer. Well, facts never have had much weight with Democrats. Well, it's true. Um, isn't that racist? Isn't treating someone different because they look different attribute? Yes, it is. Cho, I fear your hatred of Trump is blinding you here. Nope, you're wrong. The administration is one thing. Blatantly, all conservatives that they don't believe in freedom. They don't. Leah, they don't. The Republicans don't believe in freedom because you can't point to recent history where they have not stripped rights from us. They have not protected Second Amendment rights. They have not protected rights of property. They have not protected your right to earn income. These are facts. Those are all facts, Leah. Those are all facts. Republicans have not protected those things. Your Republicans I say our Republicans. Our Republicans just passed the worst spending bill in history, and it's anti-freedom. It's the worst spending bill in history. Worse than Biden, worse than Obama, worse than any previous Democratic president. Those are the Republicans. Those are Republicans that did that, that have control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Republicans passed that bill. So I don't want to hear that shit. Nope. Republicans don't believe in freedom. They don't. Period. They don't. And that's not up for debate. That's not up for debate at all with me. Um, have a good night, bro. Like your angle. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I can write in cursive. Well, that's great. Um, they did flip. I'm out. Fuck, man. Have a good night, Seth. Ben, here we go again with the propaganda. You hear a salacious story and just num, eat it up. The parties changed all the way around. Yeah, they're all they're very different. Yeah. You don't even know what the word conservative means. Liz, sit down. MAGA is rooting out the rhinos in the uniparty. Thomas, no, they're not. What? What? See, I need you guys to stop being delusional. Comments like that don't make any sense. MAGA is rooting out the rhinos and uniparty Republicans. I hope you don't include Trump in the MAGA group because Trump is not MAGA. May I remind you of the bill, the spending bill that they just passed? Can I just remind you of the bill Republicans just passed? The automotive, listen, don't get me started. Republicans just supported a bill that will allow the government to literally control your fucking vehicles. So don't fucking talk to me about Republicans wanting freedom. That just happened a week ago, by the way. I don't want to fucking hear it. Um, I've explained what I know to be true. The parties never switched. The Overton window moved. The left went way left and the left people behind. That's true. The Conservative Party changed over time to accept them. Leah starts with one guy. Tell me that the story oh my God, what are these words? Found hanging in ICE custody with his hands and feet bound was fabricated. That's one of the most wildly delusional sentences I've ever read. They ain't supposed to be luxury resorts, num num. Well, yeah, they shouldn't be luxury, yeah, but they're not. They're not really humane. None of the detention. Listen, y'all, it's just a fact. Let's just admit facts. None of the detention centers are very humane. None of them are humane. I hate to say that, but it's true. But you know what? You know what would prevent the majority of people from going to the detention centers? Can anybody guess? Stop entering the country illegally. I, I don't know. It's a novel idea. It's a novel idea. And this is where it kind of like, I feel bad. I feel a little bit bad for my feelings, but I can't help the way I feel, guys. This is the first administration that's actually against illegal immigration. The first of our kind. The very first. And I kind of understand, how would I want to put this? And this is why I like Trump when it comes to illegal immigration. This is why he got voted in. This is why he got elected. And the way to prevent illegal immigration, you can do it in two ways. There's only two ways you can do it. One, stop them at the border. Or two, make life inhospitable for them in America. I'll repeat. There's only two ways to stop illegal immigration. Stop them at the border or make life inhospitable for them. We're seeing two take place right now. And yeah, should I feel good about some of the inhumane treatment? Yeah, it's not nice. It's not good. It's not good at all. Um but there are easy ways to not be put into the justice system. Very easy. Don't commit crimes. And maybe illegals will hear about what's going on in America and how inhospitable Trump has made America for illegals. And perhaps they will think twice about putting their families through potential trauma by crossing the border illegally. Listen, y'all. I support Trump with illegal immigration. Hate on me if you want to. I do. It's a really big issue for a lot of different reasons, and no amount of cope will convince me otherwise. No amount of cope from leftists will. Oh my God! Now we want to be humane. Now we want to be sad and protect people. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. We've been playing this game with illegal immigration for decades. This is the first administration that is very serious about actually protecting Americans first, ahead of illegals. And it's pretty grim what ICE is doing. But hopefully, my hope is that illegals will think twice about crossing the border. Sorry. Yeah, I agree with Cho on that one. They aren't the same parties. Like, they like everything have evolved over hundreds of years. I mean, no shit. Of course they're not the same parties. It's been hundreds of years. What do you? The Republican Party isn't the same party 10 years ago, let alone 10. I mean, hundreds of years ago. Um. Oh, we're fighting. Proletarian pride. Um, I haven't been here in a few months, but I love the political development I'm seeing. Oh, thank you, Mr. Ezjaba. Yeah, I also don't think any lefties are preventing people working at ICE detention centers from giving detainees necessary medicine. We are getting the criminal alien invaders out when Democrats stay out of the way. That's true. It has been really like crazy to see how these crazy leftist women are like trying to obstruct ICE from getting rid of dangerous criminals. It's disgusting. And you know what's happened in Virginia? I know you guys saw the news about Virginia. The very first thing that CIA agent, I almost said something really bad about old Abigail. I'll just say this. Think about her last name. What is Abigail's last name? It's CIA agent. What's the first thing Democrats in Virginia did? They de- they got rid of all the mandatory sentences for rapists, child molesters, criminals, violent criminals. That's the first thing they did. That was the first thing they did. The January. The first thing they did was get rid of all the mandatory minimums for child molesters, predators, killers. That's the first thing the Democrat. I saw that on the news and I thought, oh, these Republican cunts, they gotta be lying. They gotta be capping. They have to be capping. So I Googled the bill myself. I said, you know what, Chuck? You've got to Google this because you can't just run with something like that because that would be crazy. That would be crazy if they did that. So I started Googling, and it's fucking true. Democrats love criminals. They love a good criminal, honey. And they want them on the streets. They want them on the streets. They want them on the streets. Imagine being imagine being the family members of a victim in Virginia and not having any semblance of guarantee of justice against your loved one's perpetrator. Imagine you have a daughter violently raped and killed, murdered, honey, and murdered on top of that. Double homicide. Imagine that for a second. In Virginia, no mandatory sentence. Found guilty, but no mandatory minimum. We'll just leave it up to the judge, honey. We'll leave it up to the activist judges. Disgusting, deplorable, demonic. I'm telling you, all these politicians are demonic, y'all. This is why you guys have to really stop sucking the dicks of these politicians, because 90% of them are demonic. They're corrupted. They literally, they are so corrupted and evil to their core. Across the board, these are the policies that they put in place. Trump is pushing 60-year mortgages. Back on that topic, talk about slavery. Yeah, Republicans don't believe in slavery, but they believe in financial slavery though. They believe in financial slavery. They want you to have a 60-year mortgage. Modern day slavery, financial slavery. They don't want you to ever fucking own anything. Republicans. No. What? They want you to they freedom? No, get a 60-year mortgage. I'll never own that shit. Kiss my fucking ass. Stop. That's demonic. Demons. Yes, I would love to watch a show. Oh yeah, so yeah, maybe we will watch once we get my horizontal streams. I know DJ's excited about that. Once we get my horizontal streams back up and running, maybe we'll watch that documentary I watched about the three people that were detained. It was very sad. Very sad. Imagine having your life uprooted suddenly at the airport and being separated from your family and having to go through having to shit and piss in front of 20 other people in one little cell. Traumatic shit. Traumatic shit. Christy Nome literally got called out to her face for deporting veterans. Don't even fucking bring Christy Nome up, because that fucking cunt, she kills puppies, by the way. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about Christy. That cunt kills puppies. So we know she's a fucking psychopath. We know Christy Nome's a psychopath, but that's been confirmed already. Psychopath. Um, you literally think conservatives free the slaves? I'm not even gonna talk about that topic because I think it's kind of dumb. Um, Jesus was the wokest person to ever live. I don't think I'm gonna be taking scripture advice from you, proletarian pride. No offense. Um, no, Leah, I'm not talking about conservatives. I'm talking about Republicans. Republicans. I'm not talking about conservatives. I'm blanketing Republican Party politicians, Leah. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong in the least bit. Republican politicians do not believe in freedom for Americans. They don't, because their actions and their votes prove otherwise. I don't go by off what they say. I go by off what they vote for and what they do. So I'm not wrong, baby girl. Republicans, Republicans, politicians do not care about American freedom. They don't. Full stop. Period. Can't change my mind. No one gives a shit what you call yourself. It's what you believe in that defines you. Damn, this chat is juicy. And you're a god. She's a Nazi. Wait. Not my bestie being a Nazi. What is going on? Oh my God. See, you guys are so. You guys gotta stop calling people Nazis. Nobody cares anymore, proletarian pride. Nobody gives a fuck about being called a Nazi anymore. You call us Nazis, you call us transphobes, you call us, no one cares anymore about you calling us Nazis. It's giving low IQ. It's giving you can't win an argument, so instead you're going to attack someone and smear them. What? Okay, we're Nazis. Now what? I just take the titles. At this, I accept all titles you throw at me on the internet. I'm everything you want me to be. I'm everything you want me to be. I'm all those things. Yes, I am him. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's why 15 GOP reps betrayed MAGA by extending ACA subsidies. Clock it, Ben. Clock it, Ben. Clock that T. MAGA where? What? Republicans believing in freedom where? What are you talking about? What? Clock the T. Again, let's talk about the facts and the votes. I don't give a fuck what these politicians say on their campaign trails. I don't give a fuck what Trump tweets out. I give a fuck about what's written into law, policy, votes. That is how you tell where the allegiance lies with these politicians. And I'm sorry to be the black pillar in the room. I am black, but none of these politicians give a fuck about you. They don't. Except Thomas Massey. Now, maybe Thomas Massey does. Maybe Thomas Massey. Maybe him. He's the exception. When I'm dragging politicians, and you have to even keep an eye on him too. You got to keep an eye on him too. But I don't think he's a demon like the other politicians are. I don't think he's a demon. I don't think he's a demon. I don't think he's been corrupted yet. But y'all let me know in the comments. Has Thomas Massey been corrupted? Is he a demon like all the other politicians? Y'all chat, let me know. Not Leah being a Nazi. Oh my god. Not we're Nazi. Leah, we're Nazis. Oh my god. Stop. Um MAGA is so emotional. Facts don't care about feelings, my ass. At least I'll call myself the communist I am. Own your shitty ideology. Oh, you're a communist? Well, that's embarrassing. Um Leah, didn't Trump run on traditional values, specifically targeting those who are Christians, even though he wasn't a very moral man? Girl, stop. Trump is a immoral piece of shit. He cheats on his wives. He has a broken family. He's not a family man. He exploits women. He's exploited people with his businesses. He got rich exploiting people in the real estate market. Should I go on? Trump University. He sells fucking Bibles for crying out loud. I mean, stop. Stop. He sells Bibles. He'll hawk any product to save his life, to make a dime, make a quick buck. How sacrilegious can you be? To sell Bibles in your name. Disgusting. Trump is a disgusting man. But I've always known that. Again, I voted for the bastard, would vote for him again, probably. If given the same, listen, I may talk a lot of shit about Trump, but given the same circumstances, knowing what I know now, I'd still vote for him over Kamala Harris. Sorry. I'd vote for him all over again. Sorry. But yeah, he's an immoral man. No one's debating that. I don't think there's anyone saying that Trump is a moral man. He's a scammer. He got rich scamming people for a living. Um, how am I not seeing half these comments? I'm so far behind. Racist narratives. Fuck y'all. History remembers, and y'all are on the wrong side of it. Fuck us, honey. Okay, proletarian pride. The communists. The communists. Illegal immigrants are making it more difficult for innocent tourists that are boosting the economy and legitimately visiting the states. Yeah, that part. Inhumane detention centers, man, but shitty wages for illegal immigrants? How horrible. History is only dictated by the victor. Isn't that crazy that this admin is against illegal immigrants? It's such a controversial position to be against illegal immigration. How is this not clocking? Dude, you're nothing but a grifter and a retard. Oh, oh, talking to me? Oh, we got a Trump stand in the house.
Dude, you're nothing but a grifter and a retard. Obama, Clinton, and Biden fuck this country. Obama used drones to kill U.S. citizens. Do you cry? Obama and Clinton were named by instinct with us, but you're worried about Trump.
Girl, retard, keep sucking Trump's dick, you dumb fucking cunt. I'm surprised you could type all that with Trump's dick in your mouth so far down your fucking throat. I'm surprised you could type such a long paragraph like that. And to answer your question, yes, I did cry when Obama killed innocent people. Because unlike you, I'm not a partisan fucking hack. You dumb fuck. Girl, you must be brand new. Get comfortable though. Oh, God. I'm not defending Trump or even Republicans. I'm defending conservative values because those are my values. Every single president since my birth has disappointed me greatly. That's something new. I'm not talking about conservative values, Lee. I'm talking about Republicans. Republicans are conservative, by the way, Leah. They're not conservative. I'm not talking. I think we're having some miscommunication. I have not been talking about conservatives or conservative values because these things that you talk about, values, Republicans don't hold. I'm not talking about values. I'm talking about Republican politicians. Politicians who earn income from your stolen wealth. They make a living off the back of you and your family. I'm talking about politicians. Republicans are disgusting, and they have not been for freedom in my lifetime, 36 years. I don't know a single time that Republicans have been for freedom. That goes for Democrats as well. But let's not pretend like Republicans are fighting for freedom for the average person. They're not. And again, I'll just prove that with the most recent history. Look at the most recent spending bill. Case closed. It's case closed. If you look at the most recent spending bill, that's anti-freedom. It's the worst spending bill in American history. It is going to cause untold inflation. It is going to harm your grandchildren. So I'm not attacking conservatives who have values. I'm attacking Republican politicians because what I said is all true about them, and what I said applies. They don't care about freedom because if they did, you'd be a lot more free right now, today. Reminder, Republicans control the Senate, the House, they control all of Congress and the presidency. And you're not more free because of it. You're less free because of it. Do you know all of the anti Semitism laws being passed under Republican leadership? According to Republicans, Leah, according to Republicans, you are a Nazi. Just like proletarian bird brain pride was saying, calling you a Nazi. Well, Republicans think you're a Nazi too, because if you criticize Israel, you can now be punished in Florida. So it's not just the far leftists calling you a Nazi, Leah. Far worse than proletariat bird brain calling you a Nazi on the internet is your government calling you a Nazi and putting you in fucking jail for freedom of speech. So I don't want to hear it. Sorry, I don't want to hear it. Republicans are not for freedom of Americans. They're not. I'd rather have proletarian pride call me a Nazi than our Republican led government calling me a Nazi and putting me in jail like we're in fucking fucking UK. Anyway, um, yeah, you can't say why the stories of people literally dying in ICE custody are false. I don't believe you. Um, Leah, I was challenging your claim that conservatives have gone more secular, yet they run on more traditional values. I think I think conservatives have gone a bit more secular, but I don't think that's a bad thing. So, for example, there are a lot of conservatives who now accept gay marriage, for example. That's not a really conservative take, right? Gay marriage is not very conservative. Um, but I think most conservatives now support gay marriage. Well, I don't, after all this trans shit, this transgender shit, maybe not anymore. But but I do think that conservatives have leaned a little bit more secular overall in their values, but not to the extreme of the left, which is really out of control. They need God in their lives for sure. Hey, Purple Flower, how are you? Um, Coco, he ran on conservative values, though I'm not sure Christian ones. For goodness sake, he's more liberal on abortion than most. Yeah, listen, Trump did what he had to do to get the votes. He's a politician. So I don't blame him for, trying to curry favor with Christian conservatives. But you guys have to remember that Donald Trump is a Democrat. Donald Trump has been a Democrat longer than a Republican. So he is pretty I hate how people have like tried to turn him into this like far right person when he's just not. He's just not. He is a conservative leaning um populist. And populists tend to be more moderate or even liberal, right? Um so yeah, no, Leah's 100% right. Um you literally reacted to the mention of people dying in ICE custody propaganda and when pushed trying to explain why you got to start with the whataboutisms. Um, um, a lot of Republicans are conservative due to their Christian beliefs. Some are secular or other religions just share. Leah, I'm going by the votes. I go by the votes. When your entire party votes, except for 55 Republicans, when your entire party votes to allow the government to put kill switches in your vehicles, you don't give a fuck about freedom. You don't give a fuck about the American people. You don't give a fuck about choice. Nope. So unless those 55 Republicans that didn't vote for Thomas Massey's amendment to that bill, unless they're the conservative Christians that we're talking about, I don't give a fuck. The whole party's disgusting. As a party, the whole party's disgusting. Um, you know what we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do to kind of I want to black pill you guys. And I think the only way to really black pill you guys is to give you the votes on these bills. We're going to start going through the bills and I'm going to show you what these Republicans have been voting for. Okay? I think that's the only way we can get a solid answer, right? How do they vote? What do they support in these bills? Because when you actually read a bill, so for example, in Virginia, these Democrats that just passed this bill where they are going to get rid of all the minimum sentences for these violent offenders. The people that voted for that are objectively disgusting. It's not, there's no debate. See, certain things I'm not going to debate with you guys. I'm not going to debate everything with you guys. And this is one of them. There is no debate in my mind that the Republican Party is a disgusting party, a demonic party that is against America, that are against American freedoms. And I only say that because of the facts, because of what they vote for, because of what they put into policy that affects me, you, and everyone in between. Because we still don't have the Epstein files out. These are facts. It's not my opinion. These are facts. I'm not debating that. I'm not debating that at all. But I think it would be educational because that's what I did. I use a site called, I think it's called Bill Tracker. I'll have to like link it to you guys. I think it's called a bill tracker, and it's really nice because you can look up any bill that's being passed in any state, whatever. It's all public knowledge, and you can search for keywords. And when Republican influencers, because I follow a lot of Republican influencers, when they were like dragging Democrats in Virginia for like this new bill, I was like, they got to be lying. This has got to be propaganda from Republicans because there's no way what they're saying is true. And then I actually read the bill and my heart like really sank for all the families of victims. I was just like, these Democrats in Virginia are demonic. There's no way. There's just no way that a functioning human being could write something into law like that. There's just no way that you have to be inhuman, right? I'm not debating you guys about my stance on Republicans and Democrats, and generally speaking. I'm not debating y'all on that at all because I'm not wrong. Um, but if you want to get into nitty gritty and talk policy, we can debate that all day long. But generally speaking, Republicans and Democrats are demonic and they're evil. This whole administration, the Trump administration, evil, demonic, all of the above. Verifiably so. And yes, they're doing some good things. I love illegal immigration. I love what they're doing with illegal immigration. I loved a lot of the executive orders that Trump did. That was the highlight for me. When he started getting that motherfucking pen out and was like, that was the highlight for me. Those executive orders was fantastic. Um, what they've done to combat, transgender, great. Listen. I can hate Trump and say all the amazing things that I love that he's done. I have no problem doing it. I have no ego in the game. I have no skin in the game, right? Because my household is going to be successful regardless of what motherfuckers in the White House. So I don't have any skin in the game, right? I have no ego attached to this. I'm just telling you guys how I feel, and I'm telling you guys the facts. That's all. Um, the general idea, but have to wait to ground those beliefs past their preferences and what happens. They waffle like they do today. Um, uh, Leah, as much as I agree with you on abortion, the truth is a whole federal legislation to ban abortion would not create unity but division in a time of chaos. That's not the way. Well, I don't know if I agree with that, Coco. I feel like, listen, I'm going to defend Leah here really vociferously, but if you were of the belief that abortion is a murder and that it needs to be illegal, why the fuck would you care about unity? Why would you want to unite with murderers? Right? Do you know what I mean, Coco? If that is your perspective, I don't want to unite with murderers. Do you know what I mean? I have to say that. Now, I do agree that a federal ban would cause division. It, yeah, but if you are on the side of being against abortion, which we talked about this, Leah has um Leah has really kind of pushed me a little bit towards her side. Not too much, Leah. I'm not gonna give you everything right now, but I'm kind of leaning more at since our conversation on abortion, which was a really great conversation, by the way, guys. I'm gonna have to make a playlist about all of my videos where my collabs. I need to make a playlist so you guys can go back. But we had a really great discussion about abortion, and Leah is an amazing advocate for women who go through this issue, and she's an advocate for the unborn. And she kind of spent that stream giving me a lot of information. Anyway, go watch it. Anyway, but the point I'm trying to make is you know, I don't think the burden should be on the moral person who's trying to protect innocent people. I don't think the burden is on them to create unity. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, VHS. Hey, VHS. Long time no speak. How are you? Hey, Joe. I got a game for you to quickly check out. A game named Zork. Google it. Free Zork game. Throws DJ under the bus. Enlighten me on the middle ground where things that actually happen is propaganda. Did the guy tie his own hands and feet up before hanging himself? I'm so far behind chat, and it's been 95 minutes. We've had a great discussion tonight, y'all. Thank you. It's been a very lively discussion tonight. Um, Coco, I disagree, but I do believe in giving choice back to the states was the best way. I agree. I agree. I agree. Speaking of CIA, they prevented class consciousness from being discussed in feminist groups in the United States. The feminist groups abroad are leftists and they are just liberals. And here they're just liberals. Um, DJ whores up the strings for the win, period. Hey, Snorkel Sir, what's going on? Hey, Autist. Oh my God, hey. Ted Cruz values Israeli freedom more than USA freedom in his own words. He does. In his own words, honey. Marxists call people Nazis to justify doing evil to them. It's tantamount to calling someone a witch in Salem. I agree. Cho, it's a Bootsy. Bootsy? Well, I am kind of that. I am kind of that, Gary. I am. For the last 10 years, I've been a Bootsy. Is it a butt Nazi? That should not be that funny, Gary. That was not a funny. That was not even funny for me to be laughing like that. Um, The best way is definitely a state by state choice. Each state has their own culture. I agree. Cho, I literally separated the Republicans and the conservatives. You must have missed it. I must have missed them. I'm so sorry, Leah. I'm sorry for going on a rant about you. I'm so sorry, babe. I'm struggling. You guys are yapping a lot tonight. This is hard, Leah. It's hard. I'm sorry. Um, do you like butter on toast? Absolutely, Rainbow. Now, this is a question I can really get deep into. Do I like butter on toast? Obviously, I don't know a world where you don't have butter on toast. To me, and let's talk about this because this is very serious. To me, butter is the first layer on toast. Like toast, okay, like butter, okay, listen. Imagine toast is a person. I'm toast. I wake up in the morning, I want to get ready, so like, okay, I take a shower, I jump in the shower, the toaster. I jump in the toaster to get ready for my day, get ready for work, whatever. I get out of the toaster, I'm all toasty and ready to go. I got to put some underclothes on. Do you know what I mean? The butter on the toast is your underwear. That's underwear. It's like underwear, your t-shirt, leggings, whatever, your undergarments. That's butter in terms of toast. Now, you want to put on a suit and a tie and a tuxedo, da da da, some nice shoes. That's the jelly. Want to put a fedora on top of that? That's the avocado. So there are layers to toast. And to me, butter is mandatory. You want to go out of the house without underwear on, unless you're a whore that's cruising for dick. Shade but no shade. Maybe you need to just get it in. I don't know. But you wouldn't go out of the home without underwear on now, would you? So why would you take a piece of toast out of the toaster and not put butter on it? That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I think butter is necessary for all types of toast, even my avocado toast. Even my avocado toast, what I would do, I'll tell you my avocado toast recipe right now. Even my avocado toast, what I would do, I would toast my multigrain bricks. I love a multigrain bread. something firm, hearty. You put butter on the toast, and then you put your guac, like your avocado spread. You should have a little bit of garlic, a little bit of sea salt, or you can omit the sea salt because you have the butter. But regardless, you want to put a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion powder, maybe a little bit of red pepper flakes, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Whip that together really well. I like mine a little bit chunky. I like it on the chunkier side. You put toast your toast, put your butter on, and then spread your avocado on top. Even then, butter is necessary. So, um, why am I talking about butter on toast? Oh, I got a question. Okay, do you like butter on toast? Yes. Sorry, sorry for the sub rant. Sorry, I know we're not talking about, but I know none of you guys care about butter on toast. I apologize, but I answer questions. Sorry. I get passionate about food. Sorry, Leah. You made the point. I apologize. I'm ranting for no reason. Sorry. Hey, Jonathan. Um, I said you can't keep up. Wait. Okay. Wait. Unfortunately, not many people have your views on what's right and wrong, and they all have unique experiences that lead them to that conclusion. So it's a very morally gray area. Yeah, maybe. Cho is wearing a do rag and in a robe, spitting facts. That's what I do, Gary. That's just welcome to the stream. That's what I do. He bought his wife from Epstein for 20K allegedly. I don't know about all that. And be careful, Purple Flower, because Melania is not fucking with you girls. Melania is taking the cunts to court. I actually am a Melania stan. I may hate her husband, but I love Melania Trump. I actually really do love Melania Trump. I feel like Melania Trump was just like your typical, is she Russian? Let me not be like stereotypical. But I feel like Melania is like your stereotypical Russian, gold digging, beautiful woman. Thought she had a good sugar daddy. Let me lay it down, spread it wide, get a child out of him, and live my best life. Little did she know that her narcissist of a husband would end up becoming the president. This is actually Melania's worst nightmare. Because now the bitch can't spend his money in peace. Could you imagine? I'd be sick. I'd be sick to my stomach if I was Melania. Because, they didn't expect to win the first time. That was a joke, right? That was a joke, him running the first time. Never expected to win. Melania was like, I just know that when Trump won, her heart sank. Honey, I feel bad for Melania. I love Melania. So don't be talking about Melania like that, Purple Flower. Because Melania is taking you bitches to court. Okay. Listen, and the thing with Epstein is there is some conflation that people are trying to use to get out of holding people accountable for the Epstein Island stuff, but there are listen, mine used to be a model. I did some part-time modeling in my youth. I know how this stuff goes, y'all. Your agent will book you. They say, "Oh, go to this island, go to this boat. There's opportunities, right?" Adults do this, right? Adults and teenagers. And for teenagers, it's very inappropriate and illegal. But I just know that Melania was just trying to get a bag and trying to get in where she fit in. And she was there as an adult, by the way, working, honey. She was working. She was at work. Um, so leave Melania alone. Leave her alone. Um, leave her alone. That's my girl. How are we still arguing stupid shit like personhood and viability arguments and sacrificing our future, our preborn babies at the altar of selfish woman's convenience and preferences? Wow. You know what? Another thing too I want to say about the abortion, not to take over this stream with another topic, but I will say for my fellow blacks out there who are always crying and whining and crying and whining and crying and whining about being minorities. Imagine had we not done all those abortions, we might not be quite the minority that we are today. Is that intentional? It's for another day. Topic for another day. Topic for another day. Listen, not to be conspiracy theories, but some might say that abortion rights is white supremacy. Some might say that abortion being pushed on blacks was to keep the black population down. Now, I'm not saying that, but others might say that. We'll talk about it another time. We'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about that another day. Check out Zork. Um, VHS. You need to go to my Discord channel. You need to go to the gaming channel, and you need to remind me about that. I'm not gonna remember in the chat. So go to my Discord channel because you don't post to my Discord channel, and that's a problem. So this is your punishment, VHS. If you want me to remember this, you can go to my Discord channel and you just type "Chow." Go play the game Zork, and then I'll remember. Love when you get close. They say Trump has a pickle dick. Well, maybe he does. Doesn't matter. Um, I'm kind of Republicans are pro free speech, unlike Democrats. Oh, here we go again. I already ranted about this. Magic Johnson. That's not true. That's not true. Republicans are not for free speech, unlike Democrats. Republicans are against free speech. Why is that? Why do I say that? It's a fact that Republicans are pushing for anti Semitism speech laws around the country as we fucking speak. They actually passed it in the Republican controlled Florida. So I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I know that you like to maybe, based on that comment, maybe you're delusional or maybe you're just ignorant. I don't know. But Republicans are not pro free speech. They're not. That's verifiably untrue. Unilaterally untrue. Not even close to the truth. Anyway, um, I'm gonna skip over some comments a little bit just because I need to end the stream. I have shit to do. I have shit to do tomorrow. I have shit to do tomorrow. And on applications, you just can't check white. You have to explain what kind of white you are. Cho, get some props to Zoran for undoing Eric Adams' anti-Semitism. Yes, I heard about that. Props. Yes, I will listen. Listen. I don't give a fuck how much I hate a politician when they do things that are correct and right and for Americans. I will always congratulate them. I need to give props to Zohan Mamdani. I can never say his fucking name. That fucking socialist who I hate so much. We're gonna give him props for actually standing for freedom of speech for people in New York. Yes, I did. I did read about that. I was like, okay, I was all right. Okay, Zohan Mom Danny. Um, a broken clock is right twice a day. And listen, he told time when he struck that down. Yes, he undid Eric Adams. Anti Zionism equals anti-Semitism. Yeah. Um, yeah. He struck that down. And I applaud him for that. And we need to have that energy everywhere. This whole hate speech thing is so fucking ridiculous. Hate speech laws in general should all be struck down. Now, I'm sure he wouldn't feel the same about hate speech against Muslims. But again, I'm not going to do the whole "what about this." It's a great thing that he struck that down because that's one step closer to being a freer American. Um, um, I feel bad for Cho reading this out of context. I'm so sorry. Chat went wild tonight for sure, but I've been seeing worse. He'll catch up, girl. I know. I'll catch up. I'm gonna catch up. This is nothing. He's a shit talker from Queens. There was a stream last year, 500 viewers at once. It was insane, and DJ was here for it. Kill switches have been added to our vehicles. Not yet. Not yet. But Republicans just voted for it. Um, Most modern vehicles can be remotely switched off. Well, there's some nuance to that, DJ. At least here in America, there's a lot of nuance to that, and that's why it was such a big deal here in America this past week when Thomas Massey tried to give an amendment to vote to remove those kill switch capabilities from the government. So, we're a little bit behind with the whole government control nanny state thing. We're not like a lot of these other democratic socialist nations around the world. I'm gonna be honest with this fluent step stroke. I haven't even been paying attention to the show. I've been down. I'll feel better, Leah. You've been so sick lately. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, baby girl. Um, and by the way, Leah, we need to have a catch up on um your mind. By the way, everyone, go, if you have not followed Leah Bobia yet on YouTube, go do that now. I need you to actually click the X button on my stream. Get off of me. Go to Leah Bobia and subscribe to her channel right now. Because one of my goals this year is to support Leah in getting monetized on YouTube. So we need to get her sub count up, and I'm not gonna go into all of what she's got planned for the year and what she's working on, all that type of shit. But what I will say is that Leah is an amazing creator, and I know she has the potential for being an even greater creator. I've spoken to her; she's a close friend of mine, and she's very passionate about everything that she does and speaks about. And we don't agree on everything. We agree on most things, I think. But even when we disagree, she's always very passionate, and I think she's a really fair debater in general. And I want to see her channel blow up and succeed. So do me the biggest favor and go subscribe to Leah Bobia's channel. Okay? Okay. Hey Spartan, what's going on? So what do you think about the Democrats then? They're disgusting. What do you mean what do I think about Democrats? They're disgusting demons. They sow discord. They are very duplicitous. They control most of our industries. They control the media. They control education. They are bent on destruction. And sometimes it's not intentional. I like to think it's not intentional, but that's just giving them the benefit of the doubt. Even if it's not intentional, it's mentally retarded. Okay? The policies don't work. We have seen communism fail so many times. So many times. Capitalism is actually the best system we have in existence. Capitalism is the sole reason that we have lifted up millions, well, no, probably billions of people out of severe poverty. And I don't want any of you cunts in America or Canada or the UK or France to tell me shit about poverty. And when I talk about capitalism raising people out of poverty, I'm talking about in Africa. I'm talking about in China. I'm talking about in India. Capitalism is doing wonders for the world. And it's only communism and unchecked socialism that keeps people in poverty. Don't get me started. That's a whole other stream. Because I'm a capitalist pig. That's a whole other stream. Um, but I think Democrats are the worst. I never vote for them. Never will vote for them. At least I do vote for. I vote for. I'm a registered Republican, by the way. So I do vote for Republicans sometimes. I've been a registered Republican since I was 18 years old. So I do lean to the right, obviously. But I think Democrats, I think their party's disgusting. Just I think Republican Party's disgusting too. I mean, so sue me. I don't give a shit about Epstein files ever since Trump's been back in office. I've got 30,000 in my bank account. After Biden, we had zero. The NIT's an easy debate. I'll give a shit about gay. Well, Billy French, you don't give a shit about victims. It's okay. I mean, listen, that's fine. It's okay to not give a shit about the Epstein files, but it just makes you objectively a bad person. Because what not giving a shit about Epstein files means that you don't give a shit about a pedophile ring that harms children, that could have harmed your daughter. So if you don't give a fuck about young girls receiving justice, that's fine with me, honey. That's girl, pop off, honey. Listen, we all have to prioritize. We all have a limited amount of energy of things that we can need to prioritize. And listen, caring about other people is not that high up for other people. I get that. You got 30K in the bank, honey. Girl, pop off. I hope you're investing it well. SCHD. This is not financial advice, but SCHD is great. I love it. Check it out. But girl, okay, pop. Okay, Billy, pop. Okay, you don't give a fuck about victims of crimes. Okay, we know because most people don't give a fuck about victims of crimes, including the Democrats that you hate, you claim to hate. You're just like a fucking Democrat. You don't give a shit about victims of crimes. You probably would agree with the Virginia Democrats who just eradicated minimum sentences for violent fucking criminals, for pedophiles, for sexual predators, for rapists, for murderers. You would fit right in with those Democrats. Okay, thanks for the contribution. The wrinkle in the leather of Cho's ear is very distracting. Oh my god. I'm sorry. You know what it is? There's like a lot of shit going on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. I know. It's a lot. It's a lot. The whole stream tonight's been a lot. It's been a lot. Sorry. I apologize. I didn't even notice until you pointed out. So thanks. You always are. Contortion of truth. That's what it was. Thank you. Contortion. What did I say? Contusion. I think a contusion is like a medical term. Like when you contort your, like you twist your arm and you twist and it twist and it twist and then you have a contusion. I think that's what it is. I don't know. Am I making stuff up? Did I make a word? Is contusion even a word? I don't know. It was good to see you, Cho. Catch you later, Big G. Stay strong. Thank you, Spartan. Okay, guys, I have to really skim chat because I do have to go to bed. It's 1 o'clock. I knew it. Praise God, Leah. You worked a little bit. You worked a little bit. It worked a little bit. Now I'm not gonna give you too much, but yeah. Oh my, I'm so far behind, y'all. I'm so sorry. Uh, he's always far behind on chat. Never fails. Listen, give me a break. Uh, the moral. Rambo, it's your show. Melania is Melania. Listen, Melania is trap hunting. I love Melania. I love Melania. Easier for Melania to get people in court than in a theater to see that documentary about her. You know what? I love the ad for her movie, but I don't think she's that interesting for a movie. Can you stop being gay as soon as you stop watching this channel? Yeah, solution. Yeah, I'll stop. Trump suck Bubba. They all sucking each other, literally. We need to leave Melania alone, man. Yes, leave Melania alone. Ben, don't talk about Melania. Melania is my girl. I actually Love Melania. I love Melania. I don't. She's so cute. She's very giving. She's all about charitable, charitable giving. I think she's a solid person. I think she's a solid person. Um, she just, it happens. She just got the wrong horse with Trump. She was trying to survive. Trying to make a bag, secure a bag, honey, and it kind of backfired on her. But you know what? Leave Melania alone. Back. Y'all need space. Welcome back, Seth. Did you subscribe? Um, Margaret Sanger. We're not gonna go there, Leah. We're not gonna go there. Um, Welcome back, Spartan. Well, you need Spartan. You don't come enough. Chose behind on chat. Sub ranting. I'm sorry. Was that about the toast? Listen, don't ask me dumb questions like that because I'm gonna answer the question. You asked me a question about food. I'm gonna answer the question thoroughly because I love food. And everything I said was true. Toast is like underwear for bread. You have to have it on, or you're a whore, or you're a whore. So you need to butter your toast. Butter your toast. I'll eat my hat if Zoran signs some anti Wahhabism equals Islamophobia shit. I mean, he will. He will. But I'll take it and listen. Give the props while they're due, honey. Well, I'll give them props while they're due. I don't hate anyone either. I don't hate the sinner. I hate the sin. But Cho, you gonna make my heart grow 3 sizes, girl. Stop. It's good. You keep people around you, bro. Thank you. Love the glasses. Thank you, Rat. Thank you. What an unfortunate name, the Rat. The Rat. Thank you for the compliment. They're Warby Parker. They're in the color Fig Tortoise. I love them. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, go click Leah's link. Can I get a shout out? No. I'm happy with a little bit because you were already almost there. You gotta just keep chipping away at me, Leah. Just keep chipping away. A contusion is a medical term for a bruise and injury from blunt force that damages small blood vessels, causing them to leak blood into surrounding tissues without breaking the skin, resulting in discoloration. That's a contusion. Okay. Hey, MOP. Thank you, DJ. Um, some stuff, not all stuff. Cho heard it from something true crime. Bitch, you know me. Listen. Not Leah clocking me. Not Leah clocking my tea. Now I watch true crime every day. I'm turning red. I'm laughing so hard. Um, no, I definitely did hear the word contusion from true crime. I like a one like like I 100% learned that term from watching true crime. True, I can talk. True crime. Um, Stop. Um, I'll put it in Discord because YouTube is so. How I'll make you butter your toast. I'll keep an eye out for it. My friend Jenna and her boyfriend are arguing because he's being abusive. Can you say support her side? Not unless no, Gabe. No, Gabe. No. Fuck Jenna and fuck her boyfriend. Give me a super chat if you want to shout out. I read all super chats. It's $1.99. Actually, it's a 99 cents. Give me a 99-cent super chat and I'll say whatever the fuck you want me to say. Um, Me and my racist self know what you all too well. You do, Leah. We're Nazi besties. Allegedly. That's what the girls call us, apparently. Listen, imagine us being Nazis. Guys, okay, I finally made it to in the chat. I'm sorry I had to skip some chats. Thank you for the lively chat tonight, y'all. I really miss you. Um, I feel like I have not been very present. I need to do a members only stream to kind of explain what I'm going through. A lot of you guys know in the background that I'm searching, if you catch my drift, but I don't want to talk about it publicly because people watch my streams. If you catch read between the lines, read between the lines. So, but I do want to talk about it to my members and talk about finances of the channel a little bit. Give you an update on how much money I'm making through affiliate sales and YouTube and all that jazz. But I haven't been around because my real life has been very busy. So the next stream title: New Age Nazis take on YouTube. um, but anyway, I will be back tomorrow. Did you guys like the reading? By the way, I know a lot of you girls are not here still, but I am going to start reading the passage and starting the stream that way. 279 super chat from DJ. Say vertical streams are far superior to horizontal. Vertical streams are far superior to horizontal. Vertical streams are far superior to horizontal. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Um You guys are crazy. Thank you, DJ. Well, Marcus Aurelius is all in here, Coco. He's all throughout here. So eventually, you, oh, you didn't miss that. You were here, Coco, at the beginning. But yeah, Marcus Aurelius is all throughout this book. So you will see lots of him in here. But again, at the beginning of every stream, I will read a passage from that day before we get into today's topic or whatever. Um, it's been said. It's the law. Period. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Love you much. Talk soon. Bye.